Well, this was pretty savage.
The rest of the interview. This is why snippets of information are often misleading and detrimental to this committee's advice and consent process.
If you consent, I would love to have 5 hours of questions, and then I could read the whole transcript.
You've got 2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, you tell her, Kash. As of course, right now we have major confirmation hearings for Kash Patel that throughout these hearings, we just found out a major Jeffrey Epstein bombshell that we're going to be breaking down in this specific video. Full disclosure, I know Kash. I interviewed him a couple times. I like him, especially after having multiple long-hour conversations with him. As of course, I have skin in the game here. As of course, we understand that this guy leading the FBI would be revolutionary, and you'll see why, as of course we continue on this larger conversation as these Senate hearings are getting a little bit ridiculous, to say the least here, as this is kind of a larger retribution against some of the biggest anti-establishment figures that are being waged a war against by shadowy, secretive, dark institutions and dark money that is trying to undermine their potential positions of power. Why are they doing that? Well, it does represent a challenge to the status quo. The status quo doesn't like to be challenged. It doesn't like to be questioned. And that's why a lot of these individuals, including Kash Patel, I think Kash is one of the most important aspects here when it comes to these confirmation hearings, since this is the guy that openly came out and said, yeah, it's pretty clear here that there was some larger involvement here with the FBI when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein list, which he has promised to disclose. He has been officially kind of running and unofficially running on this larger platform of transparency, of accountability, of giving us answers to questions that the general public has been wanting for such a long time and has never gotten it. As U.S. Senator Blackburn, by the way, during the questioning here, revealed some major pieces of information that are worth looking at here, as of course she agrees with Kash Patel, especially when it comes to the promises of his larger disclosures that I so desperately want to happen, as of course the previous leadership failed us in more ways than one, as agents were literally at parent-teacher school conferences. Agents were literally attending and infiltrating and attacking pro-life groups as the organization was politically charged. We don't want to play any politics. If you're the Federal Bureau of Investigations, there's a lot of traffickers out there. There's a lot of horrible people out there. You know, we could be focusing on them and stopping them instead of using this as a political juggernaut meant to punish people for their political opinions, as multiple of my friends now have been raided by the FBI because of their political thoughts and expressions, which, you know, set up a big chilling effect, especially in independent media. That's all gone and will be completely gone under a Kash Patel leadership that now Senator Blackburn kind of hinted at disclosing this very particular story that has been the story of the decade that many powerful people just want you to be quiet about. Who are some of those powerful people? Well, Ms. Blackburn told us.
Our colleagues know you're going to clean it up. I want to talk to you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They stonewalled on this, and I know that breaking up these trafficking rings is important to President Trump. So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to countermand missing children and exploited children going forward.
Absolutely. As of course, when we're talking about the Epstein case, we're talking about thousands. You know, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, they just had some fun. No, thousands children around the ages of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 children that were hurt here, abused here, as the FBI was sitting on their hands, listening to children that came to them, by the way, in the 1990s, that they just ignored. They waved away. They said, shoot, get out of here, kid. We don't care about your story about this guy here that's traveling around everywhere, since probably he was on their payroll. Now, what the senator brought up was specifically throwing U.S. Senator Dick Durbin, a Democrat from Illinois, under the bus, and rightfully so here, as she states specifically that this is the guy, this right here, this is the face that's blocking the larger effort from thousands of victims from getting any kind of legitimate justice here when it comes to this Epstein saga, as he has blocked subpoenas, lied about the flight logs, as a lot of people are asking themselves, what do you got to hide there, buddy? As a lot of people are coming to the conclusion that he either is covering up his tracks or he's covering up the tracks of other powerful people that, of course, control him, that have money on him, that have compromise on him, as he clearly is doing us a larger disservice and covering up what is one of the most important, biggest stories of the decade. I demand answers. I want to know what's going on here. As the senator also mentioned, of course, the head of the FBI, Christopher Wray, who resigned from the FBI very, very publicly, very, very loudly, as this is also the face of a guy that likes to protect child predators out there. As you know, this senator, by the way, that has been speaking about this, has been speaking about it for a very long time. This is a clip from 2003, December 14th, with her during these committees, during these meetings, going to the FBI and saying, guys, we want some answers here. We want to know what's going on here. And guess what? She still, after many years, 2+ years, hasn't gotten any kind of answers here. I wonder why that is.
That information, why would you not make public all of the video that has been captured from Jeffrey Epstein's Palm Beach townhouse, which the FBI has?
Ma'am, I'm aware of the interaction with Director Wray from, I believe, last week or the week before. Our team would be happy to work on any formal responses. I'm not aware of any subpoenas that have come to the FBI.
Normally, this stuff leaks within weeks. It's been years and we haven't heard a peep. Powerful people want to keep the public from knowing this information, and we don't.
Absolutely, and shouts out to this senator. Shouts out to Miss Blackburn here, that truly is doing the American people a larger service here by holding some of the most corrupted, nastiest, most disgusting people's feet to the fire. Shouts out to this particular lady, as of course there's bigger implications here as these hearings go on, specifically with one senator, Amy Klobuchar, now protecting Christopher Wray and his horrible reputation that, according to other senators, is covering up the larger crimes that happened against children. Absolutely criminal here. We got a lot of other clips we're going to be playing, but before playing those clips, we wanted to remind you, check out wearechange.shop, our own store, where now, if people sign up to our email list, they get 15% off. Go on that website. You're going to have a little pop-up come up. You could claim a discount. I would definitely take advantage of this. This is a limited time offer. When you sign up to our email list, we, of course, never sell your emails. We talk to you. Of course, we send you limited edition offers. We send you limited edition content. We're going to change the game here. We're going to be sending out content just for people on our email list. We need to revamp things. We are. And the best way to support those larger efforts is to check out wearechange.shop. I was just with another kind of high profile friend here just earlier today, and he relies on our supplements in a big way. And it's awesome to see the larger kind of effects that I'm able to, of course, procure a product that is top-notch, that is super awesome, super incredible. Something that, of course, you know, it's hard to find because there's a lot of scams out there. A lot of the products that we have, you know, very fair price. You go online and you look at a lot of these scammers, you look at a lot of these places that don't give you legitimate stuff. You could buy them for cheaper, sure, but what are you actually getting? We tested a lot of this stuff out. We did our research. We did our homework. A lot of the other stuff out there, super expensive because everyone wants a higher premium. Wearechange.shop, some of the best stuff out there, specifically when it comes to magnesium glycinate, when it comes to common sense creatine, when it comes to takecalm.com, you name it. We got it. TakeCalm.com. I think this is the best product that I'm personally most proud of. TakeCalm.com. I love this product. I take this product. You should take this product. I give it to my mom. I give it to all my friends. WeAreChange.shop is the place where you could also go and support this independent media organization. As let's continue talking about some of the most sinister elements of our government. Christopher Wray here, that clearly weaponized the Department of Justice and then looked the other way when people were trying to get justice for small children that were hurt here. As, of course, Amy Klobuchar also just went full Karen on Kash Patel for, of course, criticizing this administration that failed to give us any answers and justice surrounding this larger saga.
You said you would put the entire fake news mafia press corps on your list. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
I don't have that in front of me.
Benny Johnson's podcast, 8/21/23. You have said that the FBI, including today, you said that they remain utterly corrupt. This is an agency with agents who have taken down terrorists, taken down bank robbers, taken down crime. And you wrote that the FBI has become so thoroughly compromised that it will remain a threat to the people unless drastic measures are taken.
Yes.
Do you know that under Chris Wray's leadership, he took over at a very difficult time, we all know that, appointed by President Trump, that during his tenure, the applications to the FBI has in fact tripled? Do you think people would be applying to that agency like in those numbers if they thought it was so corrupt?
The American public's trust in it is at 40%. That's an all-time low.
Did you say that the FBI headquarters should be shut down and reopened as a museum of the deep state?
Mr. Chairman, are we allowed to go an extra time?
Let's see, you get a second round. Before I call on Senator Lee.
Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters, where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism, should be shut down and opened as a deep state?
Hey, Mr. Chair.
As a museum. Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question. He is asking to be head of the FBI, and he said that their headquarters should be shut down.
Mr. Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
You got anything you want to say, Mr. Patel, before I go on to Senator Lee?
Simply this. If the best attacks on me are going to be false accusations and grotesque mischaracterizations, the only thing this body is doing is defeating the credibility of the men and women at the FBI. I stood with them here in this country. In every theater of war we have, I was on the ground in service of this nation. And any accusations leveled against me that I would somehow put political bias before the Constitution are grotesquely unfair. And I will have you reminded that I have been endorsed by over 300,000 law enforcement officers to become the next director of the FBI. Let's ask them.
Damn. You tell them how you really feel out there. As it's important to note here, Kash Patel is also the guy that looked into this whole Russian collusion story. And if you remember that story, in 2016, Donald Trump won the election to the surprise of a lot of deep state intelligence agencies that were pissed that he won, and then they slandered him. They lied. They said, it wasn't him who actually won. It's the Ruskies that interfered in our election. It's Russian disinformation. It's propaganda. And then we were like, okay, if the intel agencies are going to come out and say that, give us the proof, give us the evidence here. And they didn't have any. So we said, okay, until they give us any evidence, since the intel agencies love to lie to us, including the FBI, they love to lie about every single element and aspect of the larger stories out there. You know what? I'm not going to believe it. And I just said, sorry, I don't believe your story unless you actually prove it from known liars. I was slandered. I was attacked. I was deplatformed. I was demonetized. I had the Washington Post calling me Russian fake news, saying that somehow I'm tied into the... Even though I'm Polish. Polish and the Russians don't get along. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Kash Patel then led an investigation, looked into it, and said, guys, there's nothing here. So therefore, that was the start of his larger kind of reputation here that has been built up and solidified throughout the last few years as someone who is absolutely solid. And these people embarrassing themselves, attacking him, going after him, look absolutely freaking pathetic here. I mean, look at these exchanges here. They're just freaking ridiculous. Look at that face that Kash is making here. All right, this is just ridiculous.
Hear your answer, yes or no. Did you make money?
I don't have
This
those
is my third and
financial
last time I'm going to
disclosures
ask you
in front
that
of me.
question.
You have that information.
So you refuse to answer the question.
I answered
Here
1,300 pages.
No answer. And yet you spread dangerous misinformation.
Yeah, sorry, the guy was right more than he was wrong, and just kind of slandering him, just kind of attacking him, and just like, no, you're dangerous disinformation. The guy literally answered a lot of the questions before these hearings, specifically on paper. Said, "Yeah, you guys want what you guys want to know?" But boom, here it is. And these larger kind of deep state operatives standing against him are standing on the same people that are deathly afraid of releasing the larger kind of database, the larger kind of client list, the larger kind of dirt that we know for 100% the intel agencies were up to. They always have been. You look at the history of the FBI with J. Edgar Hoover. You look at the MLK, RFK leaked tapes that are now connected to, of course, the larger kind of assassination of RFK. You look at the assassination of MLK, assassination of JFK. We're going to get some big answers about this very soon. It takes 15 days to declassify a lot of these documents. Donald Trump just issued the order a few days ago. I was just with Roger Stone. Trust me, they're going to be big. There's going to be big fireworks coming afoot here that are going to be bombastic and explosive, to say the least, here, as a lot of these intel agencies are finally saying, okay, what did you guys do? How were you able to think that you're able to get away with this? How were you able to commit so many crimes? How were you able to aid and abet child traffickers? Why were you doing this in the first place? And once the American people get those answers, game over. And I think it's going to transform politics. Kash Patel represents that larger transformation with accountability, with answers, with actually going after the bad guys. And there's bad guys out there. I'm not, there's a real legitimate bad guys out there. And we're here going after parent-teacher school conferences. No. That's not a country I want to live in. And that's why I definitely hope Kash Patel gets appointed. If you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys watching and subscribing. Stay tuned for more here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.